Hello, I'm Professor Margaret Rogers van Coops, and I want to talk to you about money. You know, they say money makes the world go around. I say money makes your head spin around and around. The bottom line is that when we're very small, we're little children, we're taught, for example, in this country, $1 is a lot of money. And you say to that child, what are you going to buy with your dollar? And then you take them to the dollar shop and they can look around, and there's lots of things to choose from in the toy section or the candy section or whatever it is. And they may well gather up 3 or 4 things, and you get up to pay for it, and the woman says $3. And the child looks at mother and puts a dollar up, and then the child learns the hard way, hey, it costs more. And mother gives $2 more. And the child thinks, oh, well, that's good. I can always get more dollars. Foundation stone, right? When we're very young, we learn about money and we learn how to spend it. But nobody teaches us really how to earn it. I was fortunate in that my father took me under his wing when I was about 14 and gave me an allowance. I remember the allowance was something like £1.50 in those days, because obviously money went a lot further than it does today, and that would be probably like giving me $150 a day, and a month, and out of that I had to buy my hose, my personal effects, the bathroom things, and if I wanted to go to a movie, maybe once a month, I could do that, and occasionally buy myself a few candies or something. And hey, by the time the month was gone, that money was gone. And sometimes there wasn't enough, and my mother would say to me, well, you didn't manage your money very well. What did you buy? And I'd tell her all the things I bought, and then she'd say, well, I guess you spent your money sensibly, but it just wasn't enough, and sometimes you have to go without. Now, I noticed during that time that often my mother went without a lot of things, including new clothes that she needed, underwear, things like that. You see, Dad worked very hard after the war, getting himself back into the working system and back up to director levelship. It took the whole 20 years of my home life and my nursing life for him to get to that status again. You see, World War II took 20 years for Europe to get back into trading and organizing and productivity. And once that happened, then the world began to open up a little bit more. And during that time, in the early 60s, 1960s, computers had just started to be made. Now today, everyone's making money online. They call themselves entrepreneurs. But hey, how much time do you have to spend online? I know if I go online and I'm just checking my emails, I've got pages of the things because everybody wants to be my friend because I'm quite well known. Okay? So imagine what it must be like if you could go up to, say, one of those big shows where they have superstars singing in, say, a park. And there are millions of people who've all turned up to hear them sing. Okay? And they're raising money for funds for some major event, something, some research, something. It's a good thing. Money is being raised to use for a productive thing. That's wonderful. But that doesn't happen for most of us. And we don't get these enormous fees for appearing on stage and singing. Most of us, we have to go to work in 9-to-5 jobs. Maybe we're teachers. I know I'm a teacher, and I'm definitely underpaid because I don't get paid anything most of the time. A lot of people come, they want to do my classes, they want to learn from me, but hey, they don't have much money, so I get a donation here, $10 there, $15 there, $20 there, if I'm lucky. it adds up enough to maybe go out and buy some more food. I remember when my children were young and I first came to this country, and I hadn't got any food for my children, and I would sit down and I would say to the oneness, please, Father, bring me a client because I need some food to feed my children. So be it. And sure enough, within half an hour the phone would go. A client would say they just heard about me, and word of mouth usually in those days. And could I possibly squeeze them in? Of course I said yes. They came. I gave them the reading. They were satisfied. I gave them the counseling, whatever it was, and they went home. And I was happy because I had $35 to go to the store and buy some groceries to feed my kids that night. Well, 35 cents doesn't buy much today. It's more like 35 cents today, isn't it? So what I want you to understand is our brains have to constantly adapt to providing for ourselves. And in order to provide for ourselves, we have to go back and look at our early childhood when Mom, Dad said to us, here's $1, go buy something for yourself in that shop. And we found out, hey, that $1 wasn't enough, I needed 3. And we learned right back then that we need more and more and more money. So we try and make more and more money. What happened to exchange? I remember back in the 70s, a lot of people were doing exchanges. Oh, I'll make you a cake if you'll give me a reading. Literally. And sometimes it was more about, I'll prepare something for you in return for you counseling my family. Swapping our skills helped us get along. Sound familiar? Well, we were doing that 600 years ago. We were swapping skills just so we could get by on whatever we needed, and we were living on whatever we could catch or grow. I remember when I was a child after World War II finished that we all had a little allotment. We had to grow out there and grow vegetables. Had to do our good part to share in providing something for the kitchen table. Today, the children don't even know where their food comes from. I watched a program on television and they were asking 5-year-olds where the chickens come from. And they said from the grocery store. And they said, do you like chicken? And they said, oh yes, love it. I love to eat chicken. I like the crispy bits. And then they said to them, do you realize the chickens come from the farm? And they said, yes. And then they said, do you realize the chickens are all dead in the farm? And they looked shocked. You see, they hadn't made the equation between a live chicken and a dead one. We need to re-educate our children today. We need to help them understand there's a different way to manage money. There's a different way to market and make an income. Yes, you could try the computer, but hey, then it's non-sociable. You don't meet people. You don't interact. So what I'm saying now is there must be some way to educate people, to teach them how to make money, not by doing pitches on computers and getting people to spend a lot of money that they can't afford and get in debt for, but rather provide good education for the children. Teach the children how to use money. Teach the children that there are more than one kind of job available. Thousands of jobs are available. Ask a child, are you a hands-on? Are you an emotional person? Or are you a mental person? What kind of work do you want to study? We need good counselors. We need good advisors. We need universities. We need colleges that teach and train people to live in this world, because the old style is history. And on that note, I'm going to leave you to come up with your answers, because after all, it's your world that you live in, not mine. So maybe your children need you to be a model for them of how they can see you adapting today, so that they'll adapt when they're adults. Bye.